The inspiring journey of a village boy. Rohan was just 12 when his world turned upside down. He grew up in a small, quiet village nestled in the arms of nature, surrounded by the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. His father was a farmer, and his mother ran a small tea shop by the road. Though they didn't have much, they had enough to live happily. But fate doesn't always play fair. One fateful summer, the rains never came. The fields dried up and the crops failed. Rohan's father grew restless as the debt piled up. The family was forced to sell their small piece of land to pay the creditors. They moved to the city, where the towering buildings and blaring horns of cars were a stark contrast to the peaceful life they once knew. A new life in the city. In the city, life was unforgiving. Rohan's father took up a job as a daily laborer, and his mother found work as a housemaid. Rohan was admitted to a government school, but the transition was anything but smooth. He was a village boy among city kids who laughed at his accent, mocked his tattered uniform, and sneered at his inability to speak English. "Hey, farmer boy, where's your plow?" they would tease. Though he pretended not to care, their words cut deep. At home, things weren't any better. The tiny one-room apartment felt suffocating, and the walls seemed to absorb every ounce of joy. His parents were always tired, their eyes heavy with worry. Often, there wasn't enough food to eat. Rohan would lie awake at night, stomach growling, and stare at the ceiling, wondering if life would ever get better. The spark of determination. One evening, while walking back from school, Rohan stumbled upon a small library tucked away in a narrow alley. Curious, he stepped inside. The musty smell of old books was oddly comforting. The librarian, an elderly man with kind eyes, greeted him warmly. "Books can take you anywhere," the man said, handing him a worn-out copy of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. "Even out of your struggles." Rohan devoured the book. It was the first time he felt a spark of hope. He realized that knowledge could be his way out of the darkness. From that day on, he visited the library every evening, immersing himself in books about science, history, and fiction. But the road to self-improvement wasn't easy. Rohan struggled with English, and the concepts in his schoolbooks often felt alien. Still, he refused to give up. He spent hours after school working through his lessons, often using the light of a dim street lamp when the power went out at home. Facing adversity. Rohan's determination didn't go unnoticed. One day, his science teacher, Mr. Sharma, saw him solving problems during lunch. Impressed, he started mentoring Rohan after school. With guidance and encouragement, Rohan began to excel in his studies. But the bullies didn't stop. "Why do you even bother?" one sneered. "You'll never amount to anything." Their words stung, but Rohan channeled his pain into motivation. "One day," he thought, "I'll prove them wrong." Yet, the financial burden at home grew heavier. One night, Rohan overheard his parents talking. His father wanted him to quit school and work at a nearby mechanic shop. "We need the money," his father said, his voice breaking. Rohan's heart sank, but he couldn't let go of his dream. The next day, he approached Mr. Sharma and shared his plight. Touched by Rohan's resolve, the teacher helped him secure a scholarship that covered his school fees and provided a small stipend. Their words stung, but Rohan channeled his pain into motivation. "One day," he thought, "I'll prove them wrong." Yet, the financial burden at home grew heavier. One night, Rohan overheard his parents talking. His father wanted him to quit school and work at a nearby mechanic shop. "We need the money," his father said, his voice breaking. Rohan's heart sank, but he couldn't let go of his dream. The next day, he approached Mr. Sharma and shared his plight. Touched by Rohan's resolve, the teacher helped him secure a scholarship that covered his school fees and provided a small stipend. Triumph in small steps. With the scholarship, Rohan's life took a turn. He worked even harder, often staying up late to study and waking up early to help his mother with chores. His perseverance paid off when he topped his class in the board exams. The news spread through the school, and even the bullies were silenced. For the first time, Rohan felt a sense of pride. His success didn't stop there. Rohan was selected to participate in a state-level science competition. Despite his nervousness, he presented his project on renewable energy with confidence. He didn't win first place, but he received a special mention for his innovative ideas. The turning point. Rohan's achievements opened doors he never thought possible. A local NGO noticed his story and offered to sponsor his higher education. He was admitted to a prestigious college where he studied engineering. Though the struggles didn't disappear overnight, Rohan had learned to face them with courage. He took up part-time jobs, tutored younger students, and continued to dream big. Years later, Rohan graduated at the top of his class and landed a job at a leading renewable energy firm. With his first paycheck, he bought his parents a small piece of land in the village, their home rebuilt. Full circle. On a sunny afternoon, Rohan stood in the middle of the newly planted fields with his parents by his side. The memories of his struggles felt like a distant echo. He knew his journey wasn't just about escaping poverty, it was about resilience, hope, and the power of dreams. As he looked at the fields swaying gently in the breeze, Rohan smiled. His struggles had shaped him, and his story was proof that even the darkest nights end with the dawn.